Hello and welcome. This video consumer guide was created to provide truthful, fact-based information to help consumers understand the water ionizer industry. The video contains a comprehensive review of ionization technology, a detailed explanation of the core machine components, a look at the different types of ionizer companies, and helpful tips and suggestions on how consumers can protect themselves from the bad apples of the industry. Because ionizers are new to the United States market, the technology and terminology associated with them is not familiar to most Americans. Unfortunately, there are individuals in the industry that are taking advantage of this lack of consumer knowledge by manipulating explanations, spinning facts, or providing downright false information in order to sell their lower quality, less effective ionizers. But don't be fooled. A water ionizer is just like any other consumer product. When purchasing any product, you need to use some consumer common sense. Savvy consumers know that in almost every instance, price is indicative of quality. This is a basic consumer fact. A lower priced product is typically lower in price because it is lower in quality. And the opposite is also true. More expensive products do tend to be higher in quality. Consider this. If a consumer were looking for a high-quality product, their search would probably not start at a discount store. Now, this is not to say that there is anything wrong with discount stores, but most people would agree that this is not where you would normally go for high-quality products. That is simple consumer common sense. Today, consumers are learning more about ionizers, and their popularity is exploding, becoming one of the fastest growing consumer health related products in the United States and around the world. Because of this increase in popularity, these products are starting to generate a substantial amount of money for those offering them for sale. When money is involved, consumers must protect themselves from those that would engage in deceptive business practices in order to sell their products. As with any product, there are companies that are leaders in the industry, setting the standard for quality and service, in it for the long haul, while others are simply trying to snatch up as much money as they can get their hands on, not worried about how their lower quality products will affect their customers in the future. Unfortunately, many of the water ionizer sellers in the United States run virtual businesses, having very little at stake when it comes to the ultimate success of this industry or even the long-term success of their own product. In many cases, consumers do not know with whom they are doing business or even where these predatory sellers are located. Some are employing questionable, even blatantly unethical tactics that dupe consumers into purchasing a low-quality water ionizer that will simply not provide the desired results. We know all of this new information can be confusing, and that now you have lots of questions. This video was created to answer those questions and is presented in a straightforward manner so you can better understand water ionization technology. By shedding light on the truth about ionizers, we hope to eliminate the negativity and doubt created by these underhanded marketing tactics, which will allow you to make an educated decision and to buy with confidence. While the main purpose of this consumer guide is to provide facts about water ionization technology, it is also to send a message of warning to consumers that are considering a water ionizer purchase. Buyer beware, be informed, and be empowered. Part 2. Water ionizer companies. As a consumer, the company you choose to do business with is equally as important as the product you decide to buy. Ultimately, a product is only as good as the company that makes it. In the water ionizer industry, there are several different types of companies. In this section, we will discuss them and explain why doing business with one particular type is more advantageous than with any of the others. There are basically four kinds of water ionizer companies: full-service ionizer manufacturers, private labeling manufacturers, private label sellers, and authorized resellers. There is only one full-service ionizer manufacturer operating in the United States, which is a company from Japan called Enagic. The United States corporate headquarters of Enagic is located in a 23,000 square foot facility in Torrance, California. There are regional offices and service centers located in Honolulu, Seattle, Dallas, Chicago, New York, and Orlando. There are also 2 offices in Canada and 1 in Monterrey, Mexico. There are additional offices located all around the world, including Hong Kong, Australia, France, Italy, Germany, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Korea, and numerous locations in Japan. Being a full-service ionizer manufacturer means that the company owns and operates their own manufacturing facility and actually manufactures their own ionizer brand, and the service and support are handled directly by company employees. Enagic is using a direct sales model to bring their products to the United States market, meaning that they sell directly to consumers. They do this through a group of authorized independent distributors. Unlike distributors of other ionizer brands, Enagic distributors are only used in marketing their products. The order processing and fulfillment, shipping and receiving, and warranty and support are all done by the company, not by an independent distributor. Using this marketing model creates a major advantage for consumers. It allows the company to forgo many of the typical keystoning price markups normally associated with the distribution of products through traditional retail sales channels. This is what allows the highest quality ionizers in the industry to be offered at the lowest possible price. Consumers know that when a company manufactures a product and provides all the support, it means they have made a solid commitment to the product, the industry, and, most importantly, to the consumer. Tens of millions of dollars have been invested in research and development, in product tooling and machinery, in facilities and staff, in warranty and support. These are just a few of the things that separate a full-service manufacturer from the rest of the companies in the ionizer industry. After the full-service manufacturers, there are the private label manufacturers. These are companies that make ionizers for other companies. They don't normally build ionizers that reflect their own company name or brand. The main private labeling manufacturer is a company based in Korea called Emco Tech, but they also operate under the name Royal Water. They build about 30 models of ionizers for about 20 different brands. There are slight differences in models based on some features and design, but about 95% of the internal components of these machines are exactly the same. A very important point about the private label brands is that the actual manufacturer does not provide service or support for the ionizers they have made. Service is provided by a company that specializes in sales, that typically has no real experience or expertise in ionizer repair and maintenance. In addition to this drawback, in most cases, the private label companies are missing some of the most important ingredients necessary for truly superior and outstanding customer care. Emco Tech has no branches or offices in the United States, so there is no way to get local support from the company that actually manufactured the machine. Obviously, this is a huge drawback for consumers buying one of these ionizers. The next group are the private label sellers. These are the companies that purchase the private labeled ionizers from manufacturers like Emco Tech. They put their name on them and then claim to be an ionizer company. Jupiter Science is probably the most well-known of the Emco Tech private label brands. There are even companies that use the Jupiter models for other business ventures. IonWays, a traditional network marketing company offering ionizers for sale, have a sticker with their company name on the front of the machines, but when they talk about the ionizers they sell, they are referring to 3 models that are actually part of the Jupiter inventory, manufactured by Emco Tech. Life Ionizers is another example of this type of company. They purchase an inventory of machines, which reflect their company name and model number, and then sell them to consumers. All they really do is push around products that another company actually created. We even discovered that Life Ionizer had promoted on their website that they were the exclusive manufacturer of the machines they sold. The manufacturer? They purchase wholesale product from another company and then sell it. How in the world does this make them a manufacturer? A private label seller, yes, but a manufacturer, no, they are not. This is an image of the screen capture of the Life Ionizer website promoting to consumers that they were the exclusive manufacturer of the machines they sell. This information was exposed in a detailed 13-page special consumer report entitled The Facts of Life. Shortly after the release of this report, the information about being a manufacturer was removed from their website. So why was it removed? And if it were not true, why was it put there in the first place? The only logical conclusion would be it was there to try to trick consumers into believing that Life Ionizers was indeed a manufacturer and not just a private label seller. Unfortunately, most consumers have no idea how these companies operate, and they trust the information being presented on the internet. This is why it is so important for consumers to do at least a little bit of research of who they're thinking about doing business with. Buying directly from the manufacturer is a great idea, but consumers need to make sure the company is really what they say they are. An actual manufacturer has invested millions of dollars in their operations, while these private label sellers only spend a small fraction of that on their limited amount of inventory. A private label seller referring to themselves as a manufacturer? This is an insult to the real manufacturers that have made the huge financial commitment to actually take their product from concept to creation. The main consumer issue with private label sellers is that they really have very little at risk, with nothing more than a relatively small amount of inventory keeping them active in the industry. This makes it much easier for them to consider leaving the industry altogether should market conditions change or should the operating cost increase, which would make their profits go down. Life Ionizers actually serves as an excellent example of this. Their business, located in Suite I in a small one-story multi-tenant industrial park, with most of the offices in the building only being 2,000 to 4,000 square feet, not having the substantial investment of their own building or their own manufacturing facility at risk makes it much easier for them to consider simply ceasing operations if they chose to do so. Consumers may be very surprised to learn just how little the majority of ionizer sellers actually have invested in their operations. From the looks of their websites, they appear to be million-dollar companies. But when the superficial layers of internet fluff are peeled back and the truth is exposed, consumers can finally see the real companies they are considering doing business with. Hopefully, they discover what lies beneath before spending their hard-earned money. The last group of companies are the authorized resellers. These are independent sellers that are authorized to sell and distribute here in the United States on behalf of a main company, most of which are based in Taiwan or Korea. There are quite a few different resellers operating in the United States, and perhaps you've heard of some of them. There is Chanson USA, Tyant USA, Pure Pro, Evantis, KYK, and many, many others. And there is an important fact that applies to all of them. None of these resellers are the actual manufacturers. They are not even official branches of the manufacturing company. They are simply authorized resellers, and support and service will only be available while they remain active in the industry. Of all the different kinds of companies selling ionizers, the resellers probably have the least to lose, since all they really do is buy limited amounts of wholesale inventory to sell at retail prices. Having the least to lose makes resellers the most likely to drop out of the industry, so consumers, beware. These are the main types of water ionizer companies operating in the United States. There are other brands out there, but for the most part, an ionizer company will always fall into one of the four types we've covered. As a consumer, remember that many of the different ionizer brands out there were actually built in the exact same factory, and that 95% of the internal components are identical. They just have a different brand name. We really don't want consumers to be taken advantage of or to be misled, and there are some easy ways to keep this from happening. The best way for consumers to protect themselves is to consider the following key points before deciding which company they will allow to earn their business. Number one, the type of company: a manufacturer, private label seller, or reseller. Number two, the length of time in operation. Many years in business creates experience, expertise, and dependability. Number three, number of locations, offices, or service centers offering local support. Number four, honors and certifications, industry recognition, Better Business Bureau ratings, Direct Selling Association membership, Water Quality Association certifications, etc. Number five, check out the company. Research the owners, the staff, and the main associates. Check for lawsuits, consumer complaints, etc. Know with whom you are doing business. Number six, be cautious with virtual, internet-based companies. Many times these turn out to be predatory sellers, promising the world but delivering very little once they get your money. Number seven, don't be pressured into a right now buying decision. Take your time and really understand your available options. Number eight, demand your rights as a consumer and get water samples. The proof of the effectiveness of the water produced by an ionizer is in a glass, not in a sales pitch. If a salesperson tells you their water ionizer is the best, then tell them to prove it by putting their money where your mouth is. Tell them to provide you with free samples so you can decide for yourself. If you are seriously considering the purchase of a water ionizer, we recommend that you demand the very best. Based on many years of experience in this industry, we have concluded that the best way to protect the investment in a water ionizer is to deal with an established, full-service manufacturer with an excellent reputation and solid track record, one that will be able to provide support and service for many years to come. Part 3. We will focus on a topic that probably creates more confusion for consumers than any other information that is available regarding water ionizers. This confusion does not stem from the actual information being covered, but from the manner in which it is being presented. You see, some of the predatory water ionizer sellers have actually created websites that appear to be independent, unbiased reviews of water ionizers. Some are very elaborate, having a look and feel similar to that of Consumer Reports. For the record, there are no independent, unbiased water ionizer review websites on the internet. Every so-called independent water ionizer consumer review website that you come across is nothing more than a marketing website created with the specific intention of selling a particular brand of ionizer. These sites have not been created to provide information that will help protect consumers. They have been created to influence a buying decision. Consumer Reports, the most respected name in product reviews for consumer protection, has not reviewed water ionizers. This image is a screenshot from the Consumer Reports website where we conducted a search for water ionizers. The results were 0. While this video was produced to provide truthful information, when it comes to information like this, information that is easy enough to verify, don't simply take our word for it. Challenge our findings and check for yourself. Visit the Consumer Reports website and conduct your own search. Just make sure you are actually visiting the official Consumer Reports website and not a water ionizer company marketing website disguised as a consumer review website. There are a few very simple ways to identify a fake review website. The first and most obvious is when a review website lists their top pick or top brand, and then it is the machine or brand that is the only ionizer on the website available for sale. A real review website would have all or nothing. Either they provide links for purchasing all of the reviewed products or none of them. A real review website is for providing information. They have no vested interest in which product comes out on top, so they will not pick and choose which products can be purchased. This even applies to the sites that review 10 different water ionizer brands, but only have purchase links for 5 of them. What this indicates is that the owner of the site has a vested interest and is actively selling those particular 5 brands, which does happen. Another very easy way to spot a phony review website is to check the contact information. Legitimate product review websites provide detailed information on how consumers can contact them, listing the company or organization name, their address, phone numbers, hours of operations, etc. When you click on the Contact Us link and it directs you to a page that has nothing more than an email link or a short form to submit, you are most likely on a phony review website. These fake sites don't want you contacting them, which is why no real contact information is ever provided. There have been some exceptions to this. Water Ionizer Expert, a site that appears to be an unbiased review website, is actually owned and operated by Earth Trade Water, which is the parent company of Life Ionizers. At the bottom of each page of this website, there is information listing Earth Trade Water as the owner and operator of the website. Consumers are smart enough to know if a website is owned by an ionizer company, any reviews of ionizers that they make will be biased. Covering the features or benefits of their own machines would be one thing, but to try to convince consumers that a competing company in the industry is going to give a completely objective and honest review of other brands, that is just very unlikely. But perhaps we need to step away from the ionizer industry for a moment and think about this purely from the consumer standpoint. Imagine how you would feel if you discovered that an automobile review website promoted as providing reliable, unbiased information that you can trust, a site that many people were visiting to help them make a buying decision, was actually owned and operated by one of the car companies being reviewed. And then, to make matters even worse, the models that received the best reviews on the website were those of the car company that owned the site. As a consumer, would you not be outraged by a company that would stoop to such underhanded tactics in order to try to trick you into purchasing their product? If so, understand that the exact same thing is happening in the ionizer industry right this very second. If you are outraged by this, you should be. As a consumer, you deserve better than to be treated with such disrespect and dishonesty. While not as predominant as the review websites, we do feel it is important to address the so-called laboratory test results that surface online every now and then. Once again, if you run into a document or video on an ionizer-related website that is about comparative product testing, these are for marketing purposes. They are not for actual scientific purposes documenting an ionizer's effectiveness. There have been no real laboratory product comparisons. Now, if you wonder what I mean by real, allow me to explain. There have been instances when water samples have been sent to independent labs and they were tested for things like pH value and ORP. The labs then went on to draft a report on their findings, even though they did not even know where the water samples came from. They simply reported based on the information that was sent to them. This does not constitute proper testing. In a video that is on the internet, a very scientific, official-looking man takes viewers through a series of tests that were designed to convince them that one ionizer brand is better than another. The problem is, the testing is not following even the most basic protocols necessary to truly come up with definitive results. To an untrained eye, most of these tests seem legitimate. Consumers need to know that there are no reports or videos depicting laboratory tests that have not been produced solely for the purpose of marketing. You will know if the day comes that real testing is conducted for actual scientific purposes. First, there will be many, many different models tested. There will be at least 2 of each model used in the tests. In scientific testing, this is called redundancy, meaning that the results of each product are proved not to be a fluke because they are actually produced from 2 different machines. Next, all of the testing conditions will be equal. The source water will be the same. The exiting flow rate from the machines will be the same. On one testing video, they explain how the flow rate of the water is equal because they turn the faucet on to the same pressure during the testing of each machine. Unfortunately, because some machines have the auto flow control valve, where you put the water pressure on the faucet has no bearing on the actual flow rate exiting the machine. The results of those tests are inaccurate. All aspects of testing need to be equal in order to get truly accurate and unbiased results. There is one more point of consideration when it comes to these review websites, or the aspect of general consumer protection. While these websites might seem like they were created to help, they were actually only created to sell. And while some of the predatory ionizer salespeople may proclaim that the information they are sharing is to protect your best interest as a consumer, the reality is they are simply trying to sell you their brand of ionizer. Remember, they are not in the business of consumer protection. They are in the business of water ionizer sales. Every word they say is centered around this objective. So, while it might give you a nice, warm feeling to believe that the salesperson on the other end of that email message or that telephone call has your best interest at heart, just don't be so naive to think that they are being so helpful because they really care and truly want to help you. They are appearing so helpful because they are trying to help themselves by selling you one of their products. So, when it comes to ionizer reviews found on the internet, your best bet is to realize that they are not objective and that the sites were created to sell you a specific product. If you really want to test the water being produced by an ionizer, then demand water samples and let the testing begin. Part 5. Industry Honors, Recognition, and Certifications. True leaders in any industry are very easy to spot, not because they wave their own flag or pat their own back, but because they are honored or recognized by their industry for being a leader. They seek out certifications which will assure consumers that their products have been tested and meet the highest industry standards. They open themselves up for scrutiny of those that oversee the industry, and they adhere to the highest degree of both industry and consumer standards. These are the true signs of an industry leader. In the water ionizer industry, there has been a leader for many, many years. This company is Enagic. In this section, we will discuss some of the specific honors, recognition, and certifications received by Enagic, and explain why these are so important when considering a water ionizer. We will start by covering the different trade and business organizations where Enagic is a member. First is the Better Business Bureau. Enagic is an A-rated accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. The following is information from the Better Business Bureau website about the accredited business program. The BBB accreditation is an honor, and not every company is eligible. Businesses meeting BBB standards are presented to the local board of directors for review and acceptance as a BBB accredited business. Enagic has been an accredited business with the Better Business Bureau for several years. The next membership is with the Direct Selling Association, known in the industry as the DSA. The DSA is the national trade association of the leading firms that manufacture and distribute goods and services sold directly to consumers. DSA members go through a lengthy and rigorous application process, and only the very best in the direct sales industry are selected for membership. Approximately 200 companies are members of this association, including most of the best-known brand names in the direct sales industry. The association's mission is to protect, serve, and promote the effectiveness of member companies and the independent business people they represent, to ensure that the marketing by member companies of products and/or the direct sales opportunity is conducted with the highest level of business ethics and service to consumers. The cornerstone of the association's commitment to ethical business practices and consumer service is its code of ethics. Every member company pledges to abide by the code standards and procedures as a condition of admission and continuing membership in the association. In addition to their DSA membership, Enagic was honored at the DSA 2012 annual meeting for their participation in the DSA's Code Communication Initiative, which recognizes DSA members that are actively going above and beyond in their efforts to follow and promote the strict guidelines of the DSA Code of Ethics. It's important to note that Enagic is the only full-service ionizer manufacturer that is a member of the DSA. The next membership is with the Water Quality Association, also known as the WQA. The WQA is a not-for-profit international trade association representing the residential, commercial, and industrial water treatment industry. The WQA is dedicated to promoting the highest principles of honesty, integrity, fair dealing, and professionalism in the water quality improvement industry. It is equally dedicated to preserving the consuming public's right to quality water. Their code of ethics sets standards of conduct for industry members in their dealings with their customers, among themselves, with members of related industries, and the public at large. In addition to Enagic's membership with the WQA, the Enagic products also have WQA Gold Seal certification. Enagic has used the WQA testing and certification programs to have their products tested to prove that they are the highest level for quality and performance. Through this program, they received 3 different NSF and ANSI certifications, 2 of which are specifically for quality of water production. NSF and ANSI are 2 organizations that oversee and set standards for the water industry. These are the same type of certifications that are required for products that are used in commercial application, like in restaurants or cafes. Consumers should know that Enagic is the only water ionizer company on the planet that has these WQA Gold Seal certifications. Life Ionizers does have one WQA Gold Seal certification, but that certification has nothing to do with actual water production. It is for the amount of lead contained in the actual product. Many consumers are duped by Life Ionizer's promotion of having a WQA certification because they think it actually has something to do with the quality of water produced by their ionizers, which would be a reasonable assumption. Unfortunately, it does not, and Life Ionizers makes no effort to clarify this point with consumers. In fact, in a recently released Life Ionizer Buyer's Guide, they specifically mentioned the WQA certification. In this guide, it says the WQA certificate they have certifies that the water produced by an ionizer is lead-free and meets the highest standards of safety. The certification they have is for lead levels in the product itself. It does not pertain to the lead content in the water produced by the machine. Enagic also has this same certification, but they feel it is much more important to promote the 2 WQA Gold Seal certifications that actually pertain to the quality of water produced by their ionizers. The next few certifications we will review are in the area of manufacturing. These are certifications that affect the quality of the product as it is being made. Obviously, to make a great product, you must use the highest quality materials and employ the highest levels of craftsmanship during the production process. The first certifications are provided by one of the most respected organizations in the manufacturing industry, the International Organization for Standardization, or the ISO. Founded in 1947, the ISO is the world's largest developer of voluntary international manufacturing standards. International manufacturing standards give state-of-the-art specifications for products, services, and good practice, helping to make industry more efficient and effective. Having ISO certifications means that you adhere to the highest level of manufacturing standards in the industry. The Enagic factory has numerous ISO certifications, but for the sake of time, we will only cover 3 of the most important ones. First is the ISO 9001 certification. This certifies that Enagic meets or exceeds the requirements and standards set forth by the ISO for the quality of their product, meaning that the final product is high quality, deserving of a consumer's consideration. The next certification is the ISO 14001, which is certification for environmental impact. Being ISO 14001 certified means that the company has made a serious commitment to keeping the environmental impact created during the manufacturing process as low as possible. This is just one more way that Enagic proves their dedication to being a green, environmentally responsible company. The last ISO certification we will cover is very possibly the most important. It is the ISO 13485, which is defined by the ISO as certification of a comprehensive management system for the design and manufacture of medical devices. During research for this video, standards for the ISO 13485 certification were investigated. On the main ISO website, the downloadable ISO 13485 standards information is contained in a 57-page overview. As you can imagine, certification to manufacture medical-grade devices would probably come with a long list of requirements, which is obvious by the 57-page overview. The reason we mentioned that the ISO certification might be the most important is because of the guidelines connected to it. Not only does the final product have to meet or exceed the quality standards set forth by this ISO certification, but all of the components used during the manufacturing process must also meet these levels. From the raw materials, to the production facilities, to the employees, to the product testing, to the quality control, every aspect of the manufacturing process must adhere to these standards. From the numerous certifications that Enagic insists on obtaining, it should come as no surprise to consumers that Enagic is the only water ionizer company that is ISO 13485 certified. The next certifications come directly from the government of Japan. The Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare closely monitors and regulates any Japanese products that are part of the health and wellness or medical industry. Because the Japanese government has recognized the water ionizers produced by Enagic as medical devices, Enagic was required to undergo the strict certification process imposed by the Japanese government. This certificate is the official medical device manufacturing authorization, which states Enagic is licensed to produce medical devices and has met or exceeded the requirements set forth by the government of Japan for the production of a medical device. This next certificate is the official medical device marketing authorization, which states that Enagic holds all the necessary licenses to market their products in Japan as medical devices, under the provisions set forth in the Pharmaceutical Affairs Law of Japan. There is one more certification that Enagic received from the government of Japan that is a little different from any of the others we have discussed. After 6 years under review by the Japanese Patent Office, the compensation plan from the Enagic Independent Distributor Referral Commission Program was granted a patent. This is the first time that the compensation plan of a direct sales company's distributor program has been issued a patent. This just goes to show that the business opportunity created by Enagic is just as unique and different as the products they manufacture and sell. The last official honor that we will cover is one Enagic received from a direct sales industry news organization, the Direct Selling News. Every year, they review and rate the top 100 companies in the direct sales industry. In 2011, for the first time in the 8 years since opening the Enagic office in America, Enagic USA appeared on this very prestigious list. And not only did they appear, but they were rated the number 60 top direct sales company in the world. For their first year ever on the list, number 60 was quite an achievement. By making this list, Enagic USA joined an exclusive club of top performers that includes some of the most well-known direct sales companies in the world, like Avon, Mary Kay, Herbalife, and Tupperware. Enagic has received many other awards and has been honored many times, but for the sake of time, we will end here. But before we end, I want to mention an unusual honor Enagic has been receiving from Hollywood. Most people know that the Hollywood elite need to stay in top shape and that health is very important to them. Well, many of today's A-list celebrities are learning about ionized water, and the brand they are choosing is Enagic. While winning awards and being honored shows that other people and organizations recognize the excellence of a company, and it is quite an accomplishment. But obtaining certifications that clearly distinguish a company from all the rest, while at the same time staying committed to producing only the highest quality products and maintaining a level of integrity seldom seen in this emerging industry, now that is truly impressive. Based on everything we've covered in this video, we feel confident saying that Enagic is and will continue to be the undisputed top leader in the water ionizer industry. If you have been introduced to water ionizers by someone offering you samples of the water, you are most likely dealing with someone that really cares and is focused on helping you. However, if you are dealing with some virtual unknown person that says that sampling the water is not necessary or that their water is just like what you've already tried from someone else, you are most likely dealing with someone that is more concerned with selling you than helping you. I hope the information in this video truly helps you and that you are able to find the water ionizer that quenches your thirst and improves your health. And no matter which ionizer you end up getting, when you pour your first glass, please take a moment and raise your glass and let me be the first to say, cheers. Here's to your health. As I have mentioned numerous times throughout this video, when it comes to water ionizers, remember this. The proof is in the glass. Everything else is just talk. Well, we have reached the end of our journey together, and this is where your personal journey begins. We have marched our way through the interesting world of water ionizers, and I want to thank you for taking the time to do so. While there is still much to learn about these products, the information contained in this video should serve as a solid foundation on which to make an educated decision about purchasing the right water ionizer for you and your family.